Welcome to Macro Crest. What we do have this week is interest rate decisions by central banks, and we have the average cash earnings. But the most important thing is the labor data for the Dixie, and the market is pricing in a bad data for NFP. But that's out of the point. What we do have here is COT positioning, and we are at this extreme of bulls, so we're expecting a bull, but fundamental theme is still bearish due to tariffs, and then we have the fiscal moves from Germany. We had the defense fiscal move, and then for the US we have the tax cuts, which is bad for them while they already are in a high debt area. So from this we have previous bearish candle. Of course, we're expecting it to continue to the downside, and what we do have is this. So I'm expecting this to continue to the downside, at least to this 97 area, and then we could see a push up to 103 area. So that's what we're looking out for the Dixie, and if that's what we're seeing, then we could look into the Dixie related pairs. But what I'm saying here is I'm expecting a push first before this could happen. So let's assume this is our higher high, we have this higher low. So this is a potential higher high, and then a push to the downside before going up. That's for the EU, but the U card is saying otherwise. It's saying otherwise because I'm expecting it to come to this area. So as expected, last week we made mention of this short area, so this should continue to the downside. Same goes for Swiss, but it's not my you could manage it because this is what we're expecting to this point, and then the UJ is also one of it. So why? It's because I'm still expecting it to go to the downside, but due to the fact that the yen is also kind of weak, the CPI data that came out last week, 2 weeks ago, was a solid one, pushing the yen to look for a hike, but it's not a solid one. It's not a solid one for me. So I'll be looking to just stay neutral till it's clear, but I'll be focused on AUD card just because the Aussie is weak and this structure is awesome. So we have this structure area, and I'm expecting a push to this, then we continue, so we can look at that from our daily. So what we do have is this area, then we can actually short. It's a very clear one. Then we have the AUD. It's also a nice one. You could see longs from here, but then we could see it from this area. Moving on to although the GBP is the strongest in terms of the macroeconomic data we have for me. And for the year, I don't really have a clear area of where it should go, but if it should get here, then we could look for continuations, but if it breaks then pulls back, we would continue. That should be on 4 hours. So this would have been a clear area of demand, but there is a liquidity just below it. So except we see confirmation, clear confirmation, then we look at that, and that's what we do have for GA. For GN, it's equivalent. G card, just so much great strength, but I'm still looking at it as the end of the move. So just looking at this area, the Swiss, I'm expecting it to continue to the upside, but the question is it going to move from here? If it's moving from here, then we would expect here, look for confirmation to still continue, but if it breaks then pulls back, of course, then we can look out to long that. And then GJ looks okay, but I'll be focused on GN because I'm still expecting this to clear, but the problem is I don't know where it should be, it should continue from. So if we have this, then I'll continue to the upside. It will be a very perfect one. And then finally, let's look at the yellow metal. What we do have here is continuation to the upside, but the question is continuation from where? Because we could have a further push to the downside, which could be here. This gap, I know it was filled, but we could see a push here, then we can do that. But the other scenario is if there is this push directly from here, then we can find a position to join. So that's what we do have for the week.